This episode is powered by Heidelberg Materials Butra Sendirian Berhad in their efforts to spread awareness and understanding of autism. We thank them for their commitment to creating a more compassionate and inclusive society. Melline Jaini, welcome to IZZY Does It.
Thank you, IZZY. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for spending the day with us today. First of all, this conversation is made possible by Heidelberg Materials, but most importantly, we're here today to understand more of what UniLearn or An-Nur Harapan, is it?
Yeah.
An-Nur Harapan does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, please introduce yourself.
Even the introduction's quite loaded. Okay. My name is Melline. You can just call me Mel.
Okay.
I'm the GM, General Manager of An-Nur Harapan. An-Nur Harapan is a company that was set up to do good for good. And one of our flagship or our star program, the past 7-8 years, is UniLearn. So UniLearn, we train neurodivergent young adults. We get them ready for employment and life, basically. So we're in our 8th iteration. And here we are today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So An-Nur Harapan is the main company.
Correct.
Okay. And then UniLearn is one of the programs.
Yes, correct.
Okay. What other programs are there under An-Nur Harapan?
When we started, I was brought on board in 2018 for UniLearn, to start UniLearn. But An-Nur Harapan had existed for quite a while. I think when I was brought on board, it's like, hey, we're starting this program, this pilot, to help autistic young adults get them jobs or get them job ready laha. And then so we focus on that. As from my previous experience, you try to have a star product or service first and make sure that's done right. And then as time progressed, last year we launched something called pre-UniLearn.
Pre-UniLearn.
Yeah, pre-UniLearn. And then also because of the modules in UniLearn and pre-UniLearn, it evolved to us growing chilies. So we have unique chilies. I mean, we're trying to capitalize on all these names, but essentially it's still UniLearn laha. Yeah. The rest are offshoots from UniLearn.
So who is behind An-Nur Harapan?
So we have a board of directors that oversee what we do, and I report to them. But they're individuals who basically said, from their experience, they've come across autistic people and said, why can't we do that in Brunei? Why can't we have autistic youth work? What happens when they're done with education, the mainstream education? Is there a place for them? And so the pilot was started in 2018.
So were you brought on specifically to head the program, UniLearn?
Yeah, in a way, yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Because it was already kind of like there was an MOU that was started with Startup Brunei at that time, between An-Nur Harapan and Startup Brunei. And I just so happened to have quit my job in the commercial sector. I was like, I need a break, And then one of the directors, who is actually my friend, well, my roommate in Brunei Hall in London, was like, hey, great, come on board. You're going to help me out with this charity fund. I'm like, I don't know anything about charity funds. I don't know anything about starting a social enterprise. I don't know anything about special needs. And the rest is history. So I had to learn on the go.
Wow. But prior to this, you mentioned you were in the commercial sector.
In a way, like, yeah, I was a vagabond. So which I'm jumping from, I was in government for a year, oil and gas, although corporate services for a couple, and then moved on to Brunei Halal Foods for about nearly 7 years. And then
Oh, you were in Brunei Halal?
Yeah.
Is that Gamin?
Ganim
right.
International Corporation. Yeah. So I was, I wouldn't say one of the pioneers, but I was there in the early years, and then I decided, okay, I just need a break.
Yeah.
Mid-career, I think I was just needed a rest lah. And so this was
And you stumbled upon UniLearn.
it just came to me just because I told my friend, hey, just if you hear down the grapevine,
Yeah.
I quit my job. Just letting you know, because that friend of mine, Sue, we had been keeping in touch, and they say your friends from college are the ones who stay on for life, kan. So she's like, that's great. You're gonna meet me for sushi tomorrow, and then you're gonna help this charity fund of the families. I'm like, okay. So I had no idea.
Yeah.
The rest I just had to learn and do as I learn and do it as
Okay.
on the go.
But what was there? I'm pretty sure you had. I mean, yeah, you said you've never.
Oh, that's a lot of questions, you see.
Yeah.
If you have the questions that you have, I was like, I had the same
questions.
Yeah, like
right?
what do you mean by charity?
Yeah, and like, what also made you eventually like say yes in this? Because I'm sure it's like it sounds like a huge responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Like to ensure the youth who are on the spectrum to be able to or integrate themselves back to society, especially like with our current economy lagi apa semua, it's already hard for people like us, apalagi like people on the spectrum. Yeah. So what was like on your mind back then? Like,
A trepidation. I was like,
yeah.
I think it was more like, what is a charity fund?
Yeah.
Like, so I was more concerned about that An-Nur Harapan
Aspect.
thing.
Yeah.
And when they signed the MOU, apparently they had just undergone what do you call that when you engage all these stakeholders
Okay.
to get their opinion, parents with special needs children. So I wasn't part of the initial briefings or what have you. So when I was brought on board, I guess I was given free rein into how to create it or how to manage it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just very
Best way that you know.
yeah, it was just like autistic adults train. So it was very rudimentary in terms of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then, so it was eye-opening stepping in. Okay, so I guess piecing things together and the responsibility of Tarus. Oh, you're going to be the GM? Like, okay. So ask a lot of questions, but you just carry on with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was engaging, not just the special needs people, but I guess the trainers, my bosses, my chairman, like just trying to get a sense of what everybody wanted and needed and what the opportunities are.
Yeah. How long do you think it took you to get a hold on like your position in it? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of time that you needed to process and learn.
It all happened so fast. I think maybe
Because that was
maybe
since 2018,
18,
right?
correct. It was a pilot and it was like 6 months and then
Mm.
things happened and then had to pivot right away and then had to get somebody else to train. So initially An-Nur Harapan was the company overseeing that along with startup, and then startup decided to pivot as well. So An-Nur Harapan took on, I wouldn't say took on the training yet, but we had to subcon it out to somebody else.
Mm.
And then the next year we decided to get our own place and we decided to absorb the whole program.
Okay.
Yeah. So before it was like a joint venture. Now it's like direct. An-Nur Harapan is the one contracting, procuring all the staff. So all trainers of UNIKLEARN, all corporate marketing is under An-Nur Harapan now. Yeah, but that's all big speak.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I'm still trying to get a footing on it. It's always been like something every month, every day, every year. Yeah.
No 2 days the same.
Nowadays the same.
Wow.
I mean, there are some slower days and calmer days, but it's been very exciting.
So the overview is that helping young adults who are on the spectrum be ready for adulthood.
Yeah.
So that means securing a job.
Correct.
But is it strictly to secure a job or also macam like, I don't know, life stuff?
I guess the target is that's how you can measure it.
Yeah.
Because there's most parents who put them into UNIKLEARN, and again, we do also have an assessment system where not everybody who applies for UNIKLEARN gets to go in,
Okay.
get to be part of the program for various reasons.
So what's the assessment like? Like, tell me more about that.
So they have to be minimum 16 years and above,
Okay.
officially diagnosed with a neurodivergent disorder. So the most are autistic, but under neurodivergent disorders are ADHD, dyslexia, the different DISs, learning disability, or epilepsy, anything to do with neuro, but most notably autism.
Okay.
Somewhat independent in the sense that they can feed themselves, they can go to the toilet, they can dress themselves, because we're a training program. It's a very intensive training program of 7:45 till 4:30 p.m.
Oh, macam like a proper school.
It's a proper training. We get them ready for real life and working.
How many days in a week?
4 days a week, but we staff work 5. So that's the balance of the administration side lah. So the applications would be open in August, and then we have them ready for January, and they're with us for 9 months at our center. Obviously, we do work exposure, go out lah, macam kadang hospitality at training. We simulate at our center, but we do work with a certain hotel to help with that for that week, misalnya. 9 months, and then by then we should be able to identify each of the trainees' strengths and interests, and then we're like, okay, ani, dia kan awal-awal maybe he's like, I want to be a firefighter, and it was like, okay, not to crap on anybody's dreams, but let's expose him to what's realistic and something more. And then we discover he likes, I don't know, he likes food and beverage, so he wants to be a server or a cook. So then we create a profile, and then we send it out to potential internship places. And then for the last 3 months, that's where they're placed in internship. But it's on the onus of the employer to decide as to whether to hire them in the end.
Oh, that's true. What UniLearn can only help with is to ensure that they get exposure,
correct,
on field to find out if that's their interest or not.
Yeah.
And then the rest is really up to them, like the interview process, the hiring process, that UniLearn cannot.
We actually help manage all that. So it's not just like people think it's vocational skills for special needs. No, we have to apply special needs training methods for those who are neurodivergent.
Yeah.
But also simulate the workplace so that it's not a shock. So for example, it's not a school because we don't call it a school because you're not going in like, hello teacher, here's an apple, A, B, C, D. No. 7:45 hits, we close the gate. 1 minute, you're late. You have to fill in a late form. So we're training the families as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they often think that, to their right lah, ha, macam kasihan anak ko, macam I don't know if he can do it, she can do it, we're ni macam berapa exposed, ni suka niya ni. We're like, cuba dulu, you'll see. Oh, I don't know, he only likes to eat at this time, but we're set. Lunch is 12 to 1, and then they're surprised that wow, because he sees that there are other of his friends staying for lunch. The parents macam, oh, we don't have to matai lagi, so it's very regimented. We're very firm in that lah. And then kalau dorang minta cuti, they have to isi leave form 2 weeks in advance, those kind of things. So that was a bit of my experience working in HR dulu. So it's simulating it already at the center and then getting them ready, and then we build up the skills. So it's not tarus, today we have interview skills, I ask you question and you know how to answer, it's scripted. No, we get them to build the confidence dilo. Things like, hi, how are you? Okay, tomorrow your task is to go around and ask a person a question, for example. So it's differentiated learning jua. It's group training, it's not therapy.
I like that when you mentioned just now, like you're also indirectly training the parents or their guardians lah.
Correct.
Whoever is like taking care of dorang kan. Because so often I saw this quote or post somewhere that I feel like it's related to this, because usually parents who have children who are on the spectrum or macam disabilities apa ni semua, obviously like as a parent you feel protective of your child.
Of course. Yeah.
Lagi like with special needs, right? So that layer there's layers and layers and layers, thickness layers of protection that you feel, and macam you kasihankan dorang and you try to shield them from the world, whether it be you're worried of judgment or like macam you're worried that your child will be harmed because they can't do things on themselves. But I saw this one post that said that it's a picture of like a kid on the spectrum, but it says there, the caption, I can't do it because my parents think I can't do it. And I was like, oh my god.
So yeah, oftentimes people look at UniLearn or they're like, wow, you guys are really strict. And I said, we're firm. There's a difference between firm and aggression. So we are firm in terms of, okay, this is our roster, this is how we're going to do it, we're going to be consistent. Not just consistent in terms of our schedule, tapi our staffing jua, how we react or talk to them, we always make sure we have, we're very aligned as a team. It's a small team, but it's like, okay, with this trainee, and we need to say this or not say this. Jangan just because they're, of special needs or on the spectrum that hindi dapat diajar ba. What's the difference? I have 7 nieces and nephews, and I'm like, how come we can be so, a bit garang lah sometimes with our children, but we can't tell off a special needs young adult?
And telling them off often gets mistaken for macam being disrespectful. Tapi indah, it's most likely like preparing them, because the truth of the matter is the real world is harsh.
Yes.
Like, you're not gonna get, just because you're a special needs person, you're not gonna get some sort of special treatment, because no one's gonna go above and beyond for you. So what you're doing, this is a different perspective that I now hear from this conversation, because oftentimes I feel like, yeah, obviously we need to be more kinder, and make sure like society and the community is more respectful and more empathetic towards special needs or anyone on the spectrum, right? Or okayula, but it's also very important for us to not, by manjaing dorang like as parents, but you're also not preparing them for the real world.
Yes.
So macam the quote or post that I saw tu macam really hits me, because yeah, it's true. Macam most of the kids they think they aren't able to do it because their parents think they can't do it.
Yeah.
So macam when you said that you are, all your trainers and all that stuff, your staff apa semua macam making sure they are being treated as how they will be treated once they go out, is a very important, if not the most important thing in all of this. Like, getting them prepared is one thing in terms of skill, but in terms of like treatment also, I feel like they need to develop thicker skin. Yeah, I mean, kasiyan po lang.
Yeah.
Kasiyan will always be there, right?
How I look at it is, this is my motto.
Yeah.
It just came to me a couple years into doing this.
Okay.
Treat them the same. Treat them, give them, if you're a compassionate person, you have that compassion.
Yeah.
Don't lose that empathy.
Yeah.
Don't lose that sense of kindness. But what you're doing differently is teaching them the way that they will learn. If these special needs young adults that we deal with have gone through the mainstream system, 16 years of their lives, some longer, some shorter. But if they weren't able to pick up certain things being so long amongst those people, what makes you think like there must be something that you need to change lah. Yeah. And shielding them does not help, but does not mean that you cannot protect them in the bigger scheme of things. Of course, human rights, disability rights, but to what level are you going to shield that you forget what the end goal is, which is when you're gone, can they at least speak up for themselves? Maybe have you tried all forms of methods to see, macam I've taught them enough for them to get by? You don't know where the threshold is, unless you try it. There's so many stories. I mean, they're funny, not in the way that macam kan menjahati, but have trainees, the parents, these are 22, 23 years old. That's the mean age that we tend to have our trainees lah. Even though our age starts at 16, tapi each year we have less than 10. The average age is about 24, 25. So shielded. The parents, full-grown man, like when you think of it, parents are sending mengangkatkan niya punya bag ke pintu depan lah. Or like, okay, tuan puan, macam ni saja. Hari ini saja kita boleh buat macam tu.
Oh, you actually tell them?
Yeah, we actually tell them.
Okay.
And then lepasan ni kita nunggu di gate saja. And they're like, tapi ni karang mo. Macam, give them a chance to look. And then they are shocked that, by the end of the second week, keluar kereta.
Oh my
God. So that's the kind
That
of
would make
thing.
me so emotional.
That's what I mean. Like, we have to teach the parents as well. And I hope that also answers your question. I didn't get to when we look at the assessment, we're also assessing the families. So yeah, dorang apply and then masuk for the assessment. We're assessing the families and we're assessing the trainees separately. The trainees would go through functional assessment just to see where they're at. Maybe the program is not suitable for them. Not that they're, we don't want to accept everybody, but macam, okay, they need a bit more work, maybe try somewhere else. Yang they need therapy ka, or they need what do you call that? Behavioral assistance ka pa ka. And then you have the parents, where we look at the family dynamics and we ask as many questions, like, everybody needs to be transparent so that nada anything that mangajut. Because we've run into a lot of those where the trainee is very promising, but we see there's no family unity, or it's like the smallest things, like, do you think you can be firm with your kids? Yung macam, siya pa yang yatakot, are they close to the siblings? Those kind of questions. What are some of his habits? What time does he wake up? So we can kind of sort of gauge how it works. And then we've run into the family is great, supportive, wants it, but the trainee is not yet technically sound for it. Maybe they need a bit more polishing in some areas.
Oh wow, there's so many like layers to this process, huh? The recruitment and the assessment must be very like
No problem. It just takes like 2 hours maximum, but I guess we do this enough that
you already have a clear SOP.
we have a clear SOP. We have guidelines, questions to ask that I can also hand it over, to the trainers. They know what to doing. We know what we're looking for, and several checklists. And then we come together and have that discussion. And I think awal we were like, hey, tapi kasi, even me, I was like, but I think he has potential. And then I remember one trainer was like, we can't just rely on just potential, but is it what they want and what they need to, which that's where we have to be aligned and build that trust with the families as well. Yeah.
It takes a lot of I don't know if tough love is the right word.
Yeah, that's what my staff say. Miss Mel is
Because it's
tough
like
love.
imagine ta macam just like even like a normal kid ba. You already sometimes feel so protective and so much like kasiyan. Apat lagi like people who are like special needs or OKU, right? You have that extra macam like the sampai hati. But the thing is like macam that's true actually. You have to give them a chance. You have to give them a chance, and you cannot forever shield them from whatever it is that you are fearful, huh? Like I guess you can only hope for the best, but it's so important for people in the spectrum, special needs, okay, you to be able to also defend themselves when they need to.
Yeah, or speak up. And that's what UniLearn is trying to do, because it's not actually the hard skills that we're training for. We do have, our schedule for the day. So pagi, they would do their jungle walk, Zumba.
Jungle and Zumba.
It's weird. I tell you, like, you have to be in 7:45. And Monday, you only have this change into work clothes. And then after that, for example, we do greenhouse. So that's where they, work on the chilies. And then next, tapos satu, I think maybe lunch. For example, I don't remember at the top of my head. Then social skills, and then maybe kitchen duties. Apa tu. But the thing that we're really focused on is the soft skills. Soft does not mean it's any less. It's the things like, what do you need when you want to be successful at a job? It's being able to ask questions when you don't understand something. It's being able to follow a checklist. It's time management, or your own, it's called executive functioning skills. If you have all those, you will succeed, because there's only so much we can train at our center. But Hanataw, like, okay, di luar lagi, like, this company decides to take them. It's not going to be like for like how we simulate. But I said, at least I can go to the employer. Do you have a checklist? An SOP? And they're like, yeah, okay. He knows if ada, then he or she knows what to do. If they have questions, they know to ask. If they don't understand something, you just have to your part is to just be able to answer those. And then time management. Yeah. So those are the kind of things that we are really, really focused on. So not that we're trying to make them into chefs. Like, we do cooking skills up, but it's again the soft executive functioning skills, like making sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
But they can do it themselves. And if they don't understand, they cannot follow, that they can speak up. I don't understand. Can you teach me? Sometimes it's tough love. Like, I don't hear your voice. You look like you're lost. What did we teach you? Say something. Those kind of things.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to do that job.
No, I don't know. A lot of people, they're like, yeah, Khan, you can do that with special needs.
Yeah, well, I would be too pangasian. I cannot.
Yeah.
Not-
I mean, awal cuma tu pulang. Like, of course, me coming in, I'm like, really, like, the go-to thing to do is to be like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, but you're gonna, leave them walking around, not know boundaries,
Yeah.
like, just how will they know? Maybe they just don't know that they're supposed to know those things, right?
At UniLearn, they are learning how to follow checklist and speak up when they need to, asking questions apa semua kan. But do they also, I don't know if it can be taught, but can they also like learn how to have like a growth mindset?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
because
do. We focus a lot on when I say soft skills, you have sessions called mindfulness.
okay.
Because for example, people when they think special needs or somebody who's autistic, they think the first thing they go is like, oh, yeah, the meltdown ka to. And I'm like, that's the first thing you think? I can understand lah, macam maybe, I have to be empathetic and their point is valid because maybe that's what they're exposed to. But we're looking at it as like, what is a meltdown? A meltdown is where you cannot manage your feelings and maybe your outlet is so different from what normal people do. Neurotypical, of us people do. We might just be nervous ka, tapi at least we know how to swallow it ka.
So with,
Skadya
with
pa, I'm gonna go have a break. I'm gonna need to, I don't know, drive around. But maybe these special needs individuals, the way they do it is scream and run around. So we actually teach them how to manage that. It starts with the cute things like you're feeling angry, color what you're feeling today. So they do journaling. It's not all like boot camp stuff. Okay. And then how do you translate that into the workplace? If I'm feeling overwhelmed, what do you do? We tell the employer this person may feel overwhelmed after 15 minutes, but he or she will know to ask for a break. And what accommodations can you provide? Accommodations meaning grant them that break, or ask them if they feel overwhelmed, and then in how they release it. It's not to say that we haven't had meltdowns in UniLearn, but we actually were able to identify that particular individual's touch point, triggers, and then say, how about you try this instead when you are feeling angry or overwhelmed? So that's what we do. And then at the workplace, what does it mean? Kan? He or she should be able to know, when they're starting to feel angry or overwhelmed, that this is my parameters. There's a different way to let it out. Yeah, but that doesn't take away IZZY from other organizations or other special needs parents' experiences. Ani what UniLearn is about, Saja, and the type of individuals that we deal with and we manage. I mean, we can't help or guide everybody. That's what UniLearn is about. Like, those who are also ready to work and work with us. Those are the ones that we take on board. Yeah, again, everybody is unique. But there is a niche of people who do want, who are diagnosed, but they do want to have an opportunity for themselves or their families. As time goes by, I start to see them as just like any other person. Yeah, they're diagnosed with ADHD, they're diagnosed with autism, they're diagnosed with Asperger's or whatnot. But at the end of the day, this is the people I deal with. Kalau aku kan macam tagur, but within the remit of what is appropriate or what is according to the SOP.
Yeah.
And within, human rights scope.
What do you consider a success?
The overall is obviously, if we can land them jobs, because that's the understanding. Like when the parents come on board and both sides agreed, yes, my son is or daughter is ready. We've accepted them. Are they ready to start in January? And do you know that they will be placed in internships and it's up to you, to the employer, to determine if they get work. So that's the bigger picture. But at the heart of the matter is for the families, because some say, I don't necessarily, it doesn't matter if he wants to work or not. I think I need to polish his soft skills. We have a past trainee, an alumni, who, I don't want to use it loosely, high functioning, went through the mainstream system, passed his O levels, zapato, and ready for uni, but the parents needed help on his soft skills, his boundaries, for example. So we worked on that, and now he's in college. So sometimes people look at it as the end phase before they get a job, but some do view us as like, yeah, I'm ready for that, but let him still go through, find his place in the world lah. Yeah, so I think if we're able to meet what the families want, but also the bigger picture of giving them opportunities that they never thought they could have, or people didn't think to give before.
To basically like macam give them that opportunity is also helping them like find their purpose and also give peace to the families.
Yeah.
Yeah, macam finally they can like relax the shoulders a bit. Macam kalau anak dorang kan buat itu kan buat ini, knowing that they can handle themselves apa.
Plenty to do and to think about. I mean, I'm always conscientious of the fact that, okay, it's one thing to get them jobs, but I'd like to, to see more in Brunei. A lot of people, think that special needs, they subconsciously the most suitable jobs would be blue collar roles, customer service, cleaning, maybe some bit of maintenance, supermarket. But I'm like, but there's so much more that they could do. What if the opportunities are not there and we don't have the courage yet or the means
Give
yet
them those opportunities.
to give them other opportunities, like, what if they're interested in graphic design, computers, I don't know, even engineering? Do we have that avenue yet? So that's my ultimate goal. Like, yes, I can say, okay, most of 30% each year get confirmed employment. But
30%.
Yeah,
That's good.
well, that's good, but it's better than what we had. But I'd like to increase that, because that says to me, not UNIKLEARN success, but that says to me that more employers are hiring them. Because even kami punya pool of employers are small bah masane. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just tapping into SMEs and like small organizations that, macam, hey, you want to take Ciano on board? And they're friends of, in my either my past life or networks, and they're like, or they just happen to have a son or daughter who's also special needs and understand. So I'd like to see more employers come on board, and quality jobs.
Because I was thinking, right, how would you help them find? So artinya the companies that you deploy your trainees to are companies like who agree to be affiliated to
Yes, they know
UNIKLEARN.
about us and they're like
They were
potentially a favor. I mean, we go within their process, which I'm, hey, that hotel I saw there was an opening, and they understand who we are and what we do. So, macam tarus lah, they take on board. But of course, they also have their business requirements and needs. So I'd like to see more organizations come on board.
What industries are you now?
I can tell you the employer straight up. So we
Okay.
had RBC.
Okay.
So they hired 2 of our trainees, different years. The first one, Firdaus, he's at Mofi Cafe. I think he was our pioneer UNIKLEARN trainee 2018. And then recently, Fitri, different learner, so not autism per se, but he's at the RBC Laundry near the airport. We have Mule Hotel. We have Pony Divers, Halim there. He's with the maintenance side. You had brother and sister, not twins. They're working in their hometown, di Tutong. They were so dedicated. They came to UNIKLEARN and they were always on time. Dari, like dalam-dalam Tutong, ni ba? And now they're working, helping their families. Kensington, you have one Najib there. Yeah, that's the ones I can. Easy printing. Yeah. So, but then as time goes by, I don't want people to just be doing us a favor because we could now. I want employers to give them a
legit
chance.
hire them.
Legit hire them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like shout out to these companies for doing such honorable work, but at the same time, like we know like they are being hired because of their capabilities lah,
Yeah.
like not just like a pity hire.
Yeah.
But hopefully also through like raising awareness, like I do hope more companies come forward and reach out to UniLearn.
I do hope
Should
so.
they have like vacancies and just we're not saying you have to hire them, but give them the opportunity to have a sit down interview, maybe do some assessment to see if with the position that's empty is suitable for them. inshallah, hopefully.
Yeah, and just to add to that, IZZY, macam awal-awal starting this program was one thing to train special needs. So trying to find the right people. I don't train them per se. I mean, I have a hand in overseeing the modules and how the program gets run, and but that is pretty much already well developed, and how we've developed that is that people understand the process, and we can just onboard people, and you have to have certain credentials or experience. But now it's training employers. So it's like, wow. When I said no to jobs, the same. So my project and our project and strategy has evolved to that, because a lot of employers actually say, oh, come, I don't want to say lip service, but okay, let's be transparent. Let's say, yeah, we want diversity, we want inclusion, but they don't know how.
Yeah.
When we say, okay, the requirements are ani ani ani, or just simple, talk to us, and they get nervous because they expect UniLearn is kind of a factory. They should come out and tarus be okay to work. But actually, our job doesn't stop there. During the 3 months durang internship atu, we do intensive observation, where we're there at the employer's place, but to make sure that the employer knows what to do and are doing it. So I'm not saying like provide them a sensory room, but things like, they might get nervous, like, kalau kan taguria pasani, we say, yeah, you can go ahead. It's to give them the confidence. Macam if there are changes to the schedule, I'll inform you in advance. So we're training them on the go. So we're there for the observation for, say, their working hours during their internship is 8 hours. The trainers will be there for 8 hours. And then we do fading. So the next week is 4 hours. Lepas satu, maybe drop-ins. Lepas satu, when it's needed. Cuma tu ba. So work together. But some employers, macam, I don't have time. I don't have the resources to supervise them.
I really appreciate it when you said, like, yeah, there are so many companies right now who are just doing lip service. Like, kononnya they promote diversity, inclusion, like ada macam international whatever day, they celebrate it, they did a cute picture, they post on Instagram, but whether they truly practice it, like, we don't know whether it truly reflects on their company. But it's great to know that during the internship process you actually do assign a person to be around the organization to also kira macam guide the supervisor ka, whoever lah yang who is like undertaking the your training atau also to just macam beritahu dorang, oh kalau ya cuma ni, like this is how you can do it. Sometimes you can do it normally, sometimes you just have to be mindful.
Strategy.
Because that would help a lot, because even like for myself generally, like I wouldn't know what to do too, right? Like macam sometimes, and that can cause me to freak out, like, oh my gosh, macam mana ni?
It's essentially just building on things that the employer knows. Because they have training for, neurotypical people, normal people. You would have a buddy, a supervisor to report to. It's the same thing. It's just, when they hear special needs, they're like, ah, kuno pernah ni. It's like, oh, yeah. Or they're like, I can understand. But they're often shocked when they go like, they think that the trainer who's observing them is the one to do the job, your job. So they're like, say I'm the supervisor. Say I'm the trainer on observation. Mel, cuba bagi tahu ya, or like, excuse
You're
me.
the middle person.
I'm the middle person. Like, no, we're just here to observe and ready if you have any questions. Am I doing it right? Yeah, carry on. We're just there, I guess, as a support system.
Just again to guide you in case you don't know what to do if something happens.
In fact, the ones who are employing UniLearn trainees, those are the ones who get it. In fact, we're like, good, like we're like, do you need us on standby? Nope. Because they've already know how to handle it. They're like, cuma biasa, cuma his understanding is different. Belurus sekali, or needs to be more specific, or it forces them to rethink even durang punya task. analysis or task approach. You have to apply a bit of psychology and empathy. Like I've had a trainee that I'm like, ambil kan, staple ka na ni, tapi durang end up hole punch. So investigating it, I'm like, do you understand stapling or what's the difference? Kenapa? Ya, biasa dulu karena marah di rumah. Like, ambil ka na ni. So they just do. So I'm like, oh, so what I'm teaching you now is hear the instruction and repeat it back to me. Staple, Miss Mel. Okay. So they just thought they were so used to, I gotta do something. And then hole punch. Yeah. It's the little nuances that really matter. And then, special needs, they think, some parents are shocked, like, yeah, mandi bata to. We're like, well, what would you do if like any other kid takes you long? Like,
Ibu
and they're like, tapi kasi yan. And what we do is set a timer every training lock. Now they're one of the fastest because we're consistent, we're used to it, and there would be a consequence if they are not out from the shower by
a certain
10 minutes. Yeah. And when I say consequence, I don't mean harsh punishment. I mean, like, we would inform your parents and be like, or take away their, I don't know, their phones or something like that. Yeah.
So since 2018, how many years has that been?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 8 years.
8 years.
But there was COVID, so we did it online. That was a challenge.
Oh my gosh. I can only imagine.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
So during like, what, 8 years? 8 years of you holding this position as General Manager of UNIKLEARN, what was some of the best moments you experienced? And naturally, I will ask you, like, was there some of the most, like, lowest or the most challenging times, aside from COVID lah?
This might sound cheesy, but I mean, I just had this conversation with my mom. I said, I passed up being such a frivolous vagabond, macam jumping sort of careers. Macam, I finally found what I enjoy. It's not high pay to be running a social enterprise or a charity fund, but I loved it, that the money matters for the UniLearn program for the trainees. But it's like at the back of my mind. I don't even think about it, so meeting people and then parents are going like, I didn't know he could eat sushi, so I can't pinpoint one per se, but it's those small wins which I'm like, oh yeah, we had a trainee, we took him out to consumer fair. Yeah, suka makanayam sama nasi ganito. I'm like, okay, sekali he discovered all these things at the consumer fair. And it's like, panay makan sushi, because they never given the opportunity, never got to go out with his friends. Parents were maybe, rightfully protective, or they just don't eat it themselves, so small wins, or we're very strict on maybe the trainees giving greeting, like, Assalamualaikum, good morning, miss. Assalamualaikum, good morning, miss. It's not for our egos. It's so that we can build up their customer service skills. So the parents are shocked. It's like, my daughter or son said, hello, good morning, mama. Assalamualaikum, good morning, mama. Yes, that's trained. Yes, that was programmed. But those small things they didn't think to ask or see from their own son or daughter. But I guess some lowest points comes with it. There are some parents that, don't align with us, but maybe also I came at it hard in the earlier days, right? So there's been some low points, difficult moments as well, because you want to keep the doors open, the lights on. So we're still a charity fund. We still have to raise funds to make sure this program goes on.
Yeah. When you say just now, like, you macam, like, all those little wins, right, that you experience at all.
Yeah.
I think, like, does it feel fulfilling to you? That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's purposeful work that you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you on board this whole time.
Yeah, I always check in with my mom. Our relationship has really progressed, Joe, over the years. I used to be defensive. She'd like, you had stayed in that organization or whatever you would, in that corporate entity, you would have been, a C-suite manager by now, or you'd be a high-level officer. So I'd be like, But now it's like she sees what I'm doing and that I come home happy and passionate, and there's, I'm on standby 24/7, but on my own accord. And I would just like, such a Charlie Bahari, you know, and I think she sees that fulfillment, and so it doesn't even come up anymore as to where I'm at, and alhamdulillah, because of that, rizki to myself has come in tangible forms. I can't explain it, you know, which I'm more opportunities, more awareness, you know.
To add on what you said just now, kan, like you found fulfillment and purpose. Like despite maybe thinking about like back then had you stayed, like even your mom like saying that,
Yeah.
echoing your thoughts sometimes.
Yeah.
But I do believe that people who do these kinds of stuff, only the special ones can do it. I feel like, because it does take a lot. It does take a lot, and I've had different conversations with different people who are also like sometimes in the field of like um NGOs. Like I think everyone knows like it's not a stable income kind of job. Like it highly depends on funding, like financials. And when it's like challenging times, it can be very challenging, and it's so easy to just give up. And for those who have given up, no judgment. But that's what I'm saying. Like for people like yourself and other NGOs who are still like, trying to make it work until this very day, like you guys are really like special human beings to have that still in you.
I can't speak for myself, but for the others who do this and are chosen by Allah,
It's like you've been specifically entrusted for this.
yeah. I mean, even that gives me a bit of nervousness because I never thought of it that way. I just thought I'm just gonna do what I need to do. Here's amanah, here's your job, here's your position. It's what you make of it, and yeah, it's actually been a gift to me rather than what I feel like gift to others. So I'm like, okay, I mean, it's nice to be thought of that way, but even I told you offline before this that I'm not sure if I was rightly chosen to be on the podcast because I don't have a real origin story. I don't have special needs kids of my own.
But this is your origin story.
This is my origin story.
Yeah,
Maybe.
this is it.
Yeah, I mean, I said, when I started this, the deal was I'm not going to be the face of it. I want the UniLearn trainees to be the face of it. So it's finding that balance day to day as well, where it's like they do need a voice and a platform. And, I would be doing a disservice if I was just like giving into my introvert tendencies to just be like in that, but people need to know about it. There needs to be someone to represent somewhat lah. I almost reneged on this joke.
Yeah, by you being on here, it also highlights the whole organization. Yeah, and it will shed light on them. What are some of the misconceptions that you always hear surrounding youth on spectrum or UniLearn for that matter?
Just if even today, we get a text message or a call, which is great. There's some exposure for UniLearn now, but they're like, anak ko ni, autistic, kami antara kamu. Tarus, and it was like, whoa, we don't diagnose. We're not medical experts to diagnose. We still rely on the
Professional
diagnosis people from CDC, Child Development Center. We still need medical report. Or they're like, that's one of the things lah. Second, it's we find jobs for them automatically. We're a job center. It might evolve to that eventually, but we're still building the program. It's only time has flown. It's been 7-8 years, but that's just setting the foundation of it. So it's like, no, we are helping them train. We will tap into the networks. You as a parent still need to play your role at home. So there's no point of us teaching how your kid is supposed to, make his bed or her to tell the time, but they're not practicing those things. The homework we give the assignments we give are not academic worksheet based. There's life skills based. So greet somebody in the family today, do a hobby that's different from what you usually do. So they're actually something that they can do at home and practice, but they're also training the families how to train them or manage them. Because ultimately, sudah dorong bekerja, it's not us waking them up.
Yeah,
It's not us getting them ready to, to get them to mandi and choose their outfits. Apa tu. We have trainees that are like, come in disheveled because, yalah, your parents think, oh, kesian, yan na mau tu baju tu. And they're like, no, ya mesti baju kerja. So we have to teach them from ground up, like even this is deodorant. This is what deodorant is for. And they're like, and they turn out to be the most well put together in the end of it. They're like, those small changes are rewarding for me rather than over being able to program a computer, because maybe that was your God-given talent dari awal, tapi something that you can teach, impart upon the trainees and the parents, and that can take it, they can take that away for life. That's
true. Yeah, until dorang tua.
Yeah. And then macam kuku darang panjang,
Papan.
yeah, we're like, yeah, okay, let me check your fingers. And we notice ada yang kuku panjang. Step aside. Here's kuku panjang. They're like, I don't know, like why? Because my mom usually does this for me. Okay, let's try this together. So we wouldn't just leave them to their own devices, but show them, and then lama-lama dorang pulang misal kuku panjang. So it's the small things that people tend to overlook. But yeah, about misconceptions is that special needs, you have to tarus macam the meltdown ka to. I mentioned that earlier, that the first thing they think is special needs has a meltdown, but not all. I think only maybe 5 to 10%. And atupun, when we find out what the reason or trigger behind it is, we can address it. Usually it doesn't present anymore. That's saying that they don't have meltdowns. We don't have meltdowns. It's just they know how to manage it now. We have one trainee employed at An-Nur Harapan. He manages the guest house, the greenhouse. Yeah, one trainee at An-Nur Harapan, we've hired him. Not just, again, from the goodness of my own heart, but he loves the greenhouse. I thought he would be perfect for office, but turns out he loves the greenhouse more. So he helps train the trainees to manage the greenhouse, to grow the chilies. And then kadang ada runner, so to give him additional task and responsibility, because the greenhouse is only a couple hours a day. So we're like, okay, business needs is we're gonna pay you this much, Jua. So to make sure that you're always on your toes and not bored, give him other tasks that he's willing to do. So open the gate, ambilkan makanan dari runner ke apa tu. Jadi ada runner macam cakap, macam orang biasa. Like,
What did you expect?
What did you mean? What do you mean? Like they have to be so. There's no necessarily presentation of how they're supposed to look like.
It's not like a physical.
No. Yeah.
You lose a limb or something.
No.
It's like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if they show in their behavior and stuff, well, that's just their behavior and how they're programmed. I'm declaring I have two nieces now who are special needs, who are diagnosed with autism. They're quite young. So one of the low points before, I remember, was like, "Ko ada anak sendiri?" Or who is this Melline Jaini? What does she know? She doesn't have children. She doesn't have special needs children. And I'm like, doesn't matter. It's not going to stop doing what I need to do. But now that, I do have nieces who have been diagnosed, at least I can have more empathy and advise their parents, my siblings, they're, provide a bit of guidance lah, but I try not to be overbearing. I'm not going to claim to be the subject matter expert, but at least, give them a bit of,
from your experience.
yeah, from experience, hope lah. Maybe sharing
one day when they grow up too.
Yeah, they still need their family, right? Like, if it's not their parents, it's gonna be their aunties or uncles, so.
Okay, this is a weird question to ask. I don't know if this is like appropriate. Tapi, is there like training or like advice you give to your trainees when they are like being rude to? You know how sometimes people can be very like antagonistic towards special needs people. Like macam dorang ucap dia, dorang jahat. You know, there are still bullies in the world. Not everyone has compassion and empathy in their hearts to be nice to these people, right? There's some assholes out there who are like kurang ajar to these people. Or are they trained to handle that?
Yeah.
If
Like
in that, would you?
like in a
I feel like
from
they also should be able to
yeah.
defend themselves, right? In if they feel threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, fortunately, we haven't run into those kind of people. Maybe some overt, covert, what do you call that? Discrimination, where it's like they sideline that individual at the
They
workplace.
isolate lah saja.
Isolate
Okay,
saja.
yeah.
And then, macam, of course, in the early days, I'm like, treat them the same. Kenapa kan? Ajar ba? But then I'm like, yeah, it took me a while. What am I supposed to expect from also these people who are just going to their job and suddenly they're given this special needs employee to manage? I think for the trainees themselves, we just say, yenda nice, but what are you supposed to say or do with people? So we revert back to what they've been taught. We simulate difficult customers.
Okay.
Yeah, we simulate those settings where it's like we didn't say hello ka or marong muka. Yeah, there was an incident, I think in the third batch kali, where a trainee, not autistic, but neurodivergent, he was working in this restaurant, and there was a customer. The customer wasn't rude. The customer was just being customer lah, macam ani, and didn't quite like it. And I happened to be there on the side, doing something else, and he comes up to me and be like, Miss Mel, ako jahat ah. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you do when orang cuma tu? It's like you're supposed to still smile and understand the customer or be nice to them. Be like, okay, sorry, thank you for the feedback, or bring it to your supervisor. He's like, that's the kind of things we try to account for in the training. So not just simulating the technical flow or process of things, but simulating real life cases and examples. A rude customer, a customer who doesn't have enough money, the cashier, a customer who has an unruly child, for example, or you don't have enough stock, or
Yeah, I just sometimes like whenever I see like those viral videos of like macam orang jahat to these macam people, special needs people, like obviously you get really protective of them and you get really like frustrated, like, oh, kenapa orang ni jahat ini kan? Like sometimes I don't know if it's like bad of me to wish, but sometimes I feel like, because most often dorang ni they retreat lah, kan? Like sometimes I wish like they would be able to like defend themselves, like orang tu like siapa suruh jahat, but I guess I don't know if that's the right way.
yeah. Like, I guess with anything else, let the bad behavior be a reflection of
The
perpetrator,
yeah,
right? Not us as individuals, not as a company. Maybe if the trainee did what he or she was supposed to do, which was to bring it up to their supervisor or follow the SOP, but the employer provide support and stand up for them, in the speak up, or not providing the right training, then I mean, I try to look at all aspects and make sure that everybody is well aware of what's going on. So it's like, sometimes we do have those candid conversations with our trainees. Jahat ko jan, jahat juga. We do talk.
Oh my god, that's like a very noble.
Oh, but
like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to become a trainer there.
because all for you need to fight. Or not fight back, but macam ya jahat. Bapa mo jahat kan? Do you think you could say differently? Yeah, macam mistika cuma tu. Yan na baik kan? Oh, mau diikut tu. So we do have our candid, relaxed moments. It's not all uptight. It's just the schedule and what we're trying to deliver and train them with that looks very, very regimented and well managed out. I'd like to believe.
Yeah. So how does UniLearn sustain itself? And actually, like, who are your trainers made out of? Like,
Yeah. So
how big is the organization?
oh, we're quite intimate. So the maximum number of trainees that we have had is 9, which is this year, but that's divided between 5 in pre-UniLearn, 4 in UniLearn. And the trainers, there are about 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
Support staff, corporate marketing, and myself. So in total, there's like 7 of us, which is still pretty intimate lah.
Yeah,
So we know
that's
what's going on.
small.
Yeah, it's quality that we focus on.
Yep.
Not to say just because you're big, you won't have quality. It would help if you have some form of humanities, psychology, ology training, but the prerequisite is actually more refined than that. So we do assessment, hands-on assessment simulation with them. Like maybe they say, oh, I want to work with special needs, but they don't know what it looks like, or they don't know what UniLearn looks like. So we'll ask them a lot of questions. So obviously, the things like, are you passionate? Do you think you can come in by 7 o'clock, be here till latest 5 o'clock, those kind of things. But can you plan a program? So yeah, what does passionate look like? We really question down to the T. Then we've had people who are not in the ologies, not in the sciences, and they've come on board and to be the most passionate and dedicated people that I've ever met. And my goal is not just to train the trainees of UNIKLEARN, but the people who are training and helping
The
them.
trainers.
You need to take care of my staff as well. I was not able to do this alone. It was very kind of lonely a bit lah, a while, but eventually I found, people in my crew, and it's thanks to them. They're the ones who should be given the acknowledgement, the recognition, because they're the ones lunch duties, sacrificing I wouldn't say sacrificing their time with the families. We try to do it right lah. Yeah, they're the ones who actually worry about what's next for them. Are they meeting their targets, the KPIs, whatnot, even the smallest things. Yani, he likes to say these inappropriate words. How do we manage that? The most basic things that we overlook. Ani, siya suka gigit kuku. All the time. It's like, then what do we do with that? It's not just about how to deliver that training. Anybody can just come up there and be like, do this, follow this. But not everybody can actually be so, what do you call that? Like, so curious as to find out how they can manage it. I want to say stop it, how they can make it work to the benefit of everybody, whether it's the parents, or even stuck in belubang. Like, we're like, no, you shouldn't be having that. That trainee insists. And the parents are like, oh, tapi, yes, suka stukin na to. Oh, thank you. Ambilkan chigo. We're like, no, you are the parent. So we have to kind of like manage that relationship. Yeah. So development of the staff is just as important. Yeah, it would help to have some qualifications, but it's not the end all be all.
I asked just now, like, how does UniLearn sustain itself? Like, I mean, the parents will have to pay, right?
Yes.
A fee.
Earlier days, I think starting a charity fund and thinking that it's a charity fund backed by, notable people, we thought the money would come in easy. And here's what we're doing. It's new, never done in Brunei yet. Like a place for neurodivergent individuals to get them ready for employment. We thought that was a great catch. But we failed in the earlier days to look at the actual, like what people are willing to pay. In the benchmark, these cost thousands of dollars. And we're like, you know what? Let's go back to what we were actually, setting out to do, which was to help do good for good. So we're like, you know what? Let An-Nur focus on raising the funds. We still have to develop the program. It will speak for itself as time goes by, with the success stories, X percentage getting employed. So we found a middle ground. The parents pay a very minimal fee. I mean, it's pretty competitive in the market, but we're not in competition with anybody else. I don't see it that way. We're a niche. I mean, it's still early days, but alhamdulillah, we've been able to sustain ourselves lah. I mean, I do get the pressure, like, how much runway do we have? It's still a company, right?
Yeah.
Non-profit.
Really expensive.
Yeah, but expenses, which is a majority of it goes to the staffing because it's not voluntary. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the challenges that I faced.
Yeah. So if a company is interested to like help out, in what ways can they do so?
Yeah. So financial,
Yeah.
definitely. When we first started out, in the second year, we asked for a bungalow. Alhamdulillah, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports gave us a bungalow, and then what we were able to do was, hey, identify what the bungalow needs. We have a structure. So people are more, inclined to give in kind. So if you go to our center along Jalan Kebangsaan, it's well equipped now. Internet given by Imagine. We have all these stationaries. We also have a checklist that we publish on our Instagram at UNIKLEARN and our TikTok. But we're pretty much set. We even have solar panels by Apex Solutions. But to sustain, to be able to keep this program
Still need
going,
money.
still need money. So yeah, they can just reach out to us through our DMs at UniLearn, or our phone number is listed there as well. But the thing is, it's one thing to just accept money. It's great, that I'm like, okay, I'm assured that at least we have a bit of runway for 3 to 6 months or another year. But I want people to know what they're investing in. I want their money to make a difference. That it's not just here's your receipt, which we do give, and we make sure that, we are audited, by the way. But they are changing lives. They're putting them through school. They're putting them through training. Because we've already done the heavy lifting for you, which is we've filtered the ones who are willing to change their lives, change their families' lives. Parents cannot afford the actual market rate if we were to charge them that. So it's like, this is the amount, this is what you're going to get. You're going to see this kid through and through, at least give him or her a fighting chance in the employment world, lah, at least with us. So yeah, that's monetary support. In kind, yes, there's our checklist. But those things are not hard to ask for. They're like trash bags. Small things to keep the maintenance of the training, like even harpik hariato, or ironing boards up. It's not for our personal use. That's the kind of things that we train them in and teach. And I think most importantly is employment, because that's the end goal, kan? So like I said, the pool has kind of closed in. It's like there's only so many I can recycle and be like anika ani ani ani. It's been the SMEs or MSMEs that have been helping out. I'd like to see more big companies.
Bigger organizations like Hello, Where Are You?
Yeah.
We have the telco industry, we have the aviation industry, we have the banking industry.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's do this.
I can understand.
Right.
Sometimes they get lost in, everybody's lost in the process, in the system, the hiring. They're just, to be able to change the way they operate and handle a human resource, it might take quite a bit, but hey, here's an opportunity now to move away from just saying inclusion, diversity. You have the laws and regulations and the policies in the company, the guidelines, the consequence if you're discriminatory. But have you actually done it to actually test where you're at in terms of practice? That would be a real achievement. It will change how you view these people and how you operate your work.
That's true.
Yeah. So I think, having more networks reach out. Of course, like I said in earlier days, I was very charged, apakan companies they just expect a factory. What if we take, we even got a quotation or asked for a quotation. Oh, can you train, 1,000 employees over a number of days? I'm like, no, this is how we work. Yeah. I mean, I can understand where they're coming through. So that was an opportunity. So right now, An-Nur Harapan is building a program to train employers. Inshallah, he'll be out in Q3.
How to handle atukas?
Yeah, how to train neurodivergent individuals and include them in the workplace, and what kind of things you can practice. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm like, okay, that's all they know, because it's like, oh, it has to go through HR, procurement, apatu. They had the right idea, but maybe they're not, it just wasn't aligned yet at that time. But now I look at it as an opportunity. You know what? Instead of just blaming this one was not fun or they don't see us, let's build on that opportunity. So we've moved away from the training trainees. The syllabus will always be there. It's set in stone unless it will evolve, get better. But now it's like, okay, let's train employers. that's also how we develop our products and services. Yeah. So no major company has joined us yet. I would say RBC, would be the biggest. Hopefully, thanks to you. And
Oh my gosh,
this platform, this
so much
spectrum.
pressure.
So much pressure.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's a holistic, approach. I feel like I was having a conversation with like Malay Didi as well. Like I mentioned that it's a whole community thing. It's not just one person or two person. Like the whole population actually needs to educate themselves, their children especially. Like these people are not supposed to be isolated. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be normalized.
Yes.
Because they are part of society. They exist.
Yeah.
The reason why sometimes people are so much of like nato apa kan dibuat is because so long we've shunned these people out of society.
Yeah.
So when they appear like a wild Pokemon, like macam you like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah.
When in reality it's supposed to be like, oh, okay, I'm able to know that and I'm able to identify that this person on the spectrum, understand why they are acting like this. Maybe it's noisy out here. Maybe like there's something that they are going through, macam "Di dapat apa yang dorang mau kali," So I mean, there's still a lot of work to do for sure,
But it doesn't have to be scary. I mean,
but it doesn't have to be scary.
I swear, like
Yeah.
once they, okay, there's this saying in the special needs stage where it's like, you meet one person with autism, it doesn't reflect the whole
Yeah.
the whole group.
Yeah,
They're
that's
like,
one
they
thing
think, another misconception. Oh, they're savants. The second you meet a autistic person, yesuka, they're great at computers. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I've had some who are wildly crazy about art.
Yeah.
One who's wildly crazy about plants. It's just they might have a tendency to be attracted to a certain hobby or thing, but they're not all geniuses.
Yeah.
By Elon Musk standards.
Yeah.
Who is on the spectrum, but he doesn't reflect the whole
Yeah.
special needs community. Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned recently, that every person who is on the spectrum is different. Yeah, which makes them so unique.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's why we need to be able to supply them with the environment and the surrounding to be able to give them the opportunity to hone in on their specialties so that they can become, like maybe, I don't know, the next Elon Musk, but he's not a good example.
Yeah.
But the next great inventor, the next great gardener, the next great engineer, even the next great hotelier.
But you wouldn't be able to find out unless you give them a chance.
Exactly. All they need is an opportunity.
Right.
And for people to be able to trust them, especially their parents, to trust their children that they can do magnificent things.
Provided they get the right training. I mean, that's
And
your right. You're right as a parent to evaluate what they need, but trust that they can do it. If you've done all that you can, inshallah, he will return in good ways. Yeah.
So this has been a great eye-opening conversation, Mel. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the invitation.
No, yeah, I'm so glad that Heidelberg reached out and linked us both, because I wouldn't have known anything about like UniLearn. So learned so much today.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm imparted with what I basically know. It's just all experience and day-to-day stuff. And thank you for being able to, for inviting me so that I can sort of consolidate what I didn't know I know until now, and being able to chat about it with you casually.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
But also, if anybody out there who wants to know more about UniLearn, please follow our Instagram and TikTok at UniLearn.
Yeah.
You can get to have a little insight, not just about who we are and what we do, but our trainees themselves.
Yeah.
Very special people, but they're amazing. Thank you.
Look at you becoming a spokesperson of UniLearn, starting to get comfortable.
It comes with it. Comes with the job, a job that I love.
Yeah.
A job that I love.
Yeah. It will feel more natural, because you will soon understand that you're not doing this just out of like fun. Like you're doing this to represent what you do, what fulfills
If I
you.
didn't love it,
Yeah,
I would be gone the second it was like, you're gonna be the GM, special needs charity fund. I'd be like,
bye.
bye.
Yeah,
No, not as, great pay or whatnot, but
yeah.
I'd be gone. But I'm still here and
I'm glad. I'm
with
glad
it.
that you're still here, and all the other parents who've like work with UniKlearn, or even the individuals on the spectrum themselves. I'm pretty sure like UniKlearn is or was part of their core memory, and that is like one thing that they will take until whenever, and that's irreplaceable. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
thank you, and to your staff as well.
Yeah, my
and to
team. It's
your
all
team.
them.
Yeah,
It's all them.
yeah. Thank you
And
to everyone at
Yeah.
UniKlearn and An-Nur Harapan
yeah,
for
thank you
existing.
to the UniLearn staff team and the families
Yeah.
who have been with us dari dulu.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we're done.